Welcome to the podcast that's been named one of the best in marketing research. Research Business Daily Report is made possible by RBDR's exclusive community at the crowdfunding platform patreon.com/RBDR. I'm Bob Lederer for more than 25 years, the respected voice in market research. Today we're going to do something that I've never done before, and that is we're going to diverge from our regular focus, which is, of course, the research industry, because I want to return to the subject of the coronavirus, which I started to talk about on our last episode last Thursday. Certainly, it is the most serious health crisis our society has faced in our lifetime, and hopefully we'll never have to go through this again. However, in thinking the last couple of days myself, in coping with what's going on in my life and the life of my wife and my son, who still lives with me here in Chicago, there are, I believe, a handful of realities that we are easily overlooking because of the fear that has spread as widely and maybe as deeply as the virus itself. And I don't have any problem with those of you who are afraid. I'm afraid too, because I'm 67 years old, and I'm considered high risk, and my wife is too, because of medical conditions we have. I don't claim to possess a reservoir of great intelligence or thoughtfulness about what we're all going through right now. In fact, I probably have less than a lot of you. However, what I do have are two episodes that have occurred in my life that have affected me personally, which I remembered last week as I was thinking about what we're enduring right now. And I hope that sharing them with you will help you get a little bit of a different perspective and maybe make you feel a lot more comfortable. The first recollection is the polio scare, which lasted into my early childhood. And I think it's similar to what we face today in one particular fashion, and that is uncertainty, because the polio virus, as the coronavirus is right now, was not something that we could see. And we didn't know if or when it would strike us or anybody else around us until it was too late and you already had it. And if you had it, you might find yourself confined in the most serious of ways that really did change your life. So uncertainty is something that I think we have had, if you've gone through that part of a lifetime experience with health situations, as I did. But there's another aspect of my family's history that actually is more important, and that many of you out there may have also shared with me. You see, my mom is a survivor of the Auschwitz concentration camp. She and her first husband were imprisoned there in December of 1943. And my mom saw her husband literally die in front of her, worked to death. And my mom, while she was being starved because she weighed 58 pounds after almost 2 years in the camp, which she told me was about half of her normal weight, was also working in a munitions factory there. She was a foreman for a factory they had set up to manufacture hand grenades. And of course, my mom told me that every 8th or 9th or 10th grenade, well, they simply were never really going to go off. But that's getting away from the story at hand. Growing up with my 2 brothers and 2 sisters in New York, we of course heard many stories from my mom about her experience at Auschwitz. Not really the worst parts of it, because she was a very private person when it came to that. And in fact, she always told us that you could not show on television, either in historical footage or in some made-for-TV movie, how bad it really was. And yet, after being imprisoned at age 23, she had an incredible will to live. So she was about 25 when she finally won her freedom in 1945. And she went on to live 70 more years after that. And my siblings, in conversations, with each other over the years have always asked each other whether we had the fortitude and the will to live that my mother did after all the horrors that she went through and all the physical pain and the starvation and everything else. And we really didn't think that we had that kind of fortitude. So let's deal with what we're dealing with today. Again, the word that comes to mind for me is inconvenience. It may be 2 or 3 or 5 or 7 or even more months where we're being told to basically stay at home, where we're unable to shake hands with people we're doing business with, where we're just not able to do the things that we have always been taught and felt comfortable doing, where we don't have the freedom. My wife and I certainly don't have this right now, to go to a grocery store. We're sending my son out to get my mail from my mailbox. We're sending him out to get his food and other necessities that we need. But compared to losing all control of your life and being dependent on someone else, some other entity that really doesn't care about you, what we have now with the coronavirus is a very scary situation. No doubt about that, because lives will be lost. But it's still a situation that we have some pretty strong control over. And so there really is a matter of inconvenience that we will end up telling, hopefully, our great-grandkids about, because I've got 4 grandchildren already, in the future. And I hope that sharing that and the polio story that I mentioned to you will reach you in some way and provide some degree of comfort by clearing away a sense of hopelessness, which many of you are clearly thinking. And I take nothing away from you who are feeling that, and I'm sure I'm going to be dealing with that as well as I have already. But let's try to really have a positive outlook, because there are still many things going on in our respective lives and in our businesses that we can look forward to. Thank you for watching this rather special edition of Research Business Daily Report. I hope that what I have talked about today has not been a turnoff, and that you will join us back here again tomorrow, and that you will, as I always mention, become a supporter through patreon.com/RBDR, so we can continue to talk about research and other things that are obviously affecting all of our lives. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you back here with us tomorrow.